Hey, Matt,
Hey, Jen.
what are you listening to this week? Welcome to season 4 of What Are You Listening To? The weekly podcast created to foster community through music by sharing the stories behind the songs that soundtrack our lives. Some of the songs are old, some new, all good. I'm Jenn Tully, and this week I'm joined by friend and producer of the show, Matt Sidhom. As you know, Matt is the co host of the Super Awesome Mix podcast and co founder of the Super Awesome Mix podcasting network. And this week, he's back to chat with me about two of my favorite things TV and music, and in particular, where they intersect. In case you haven't guessed yet, for this episode, Matt and I are going to chat about some of our favorite TV theme songs, past and present. Two are his picks, and two are mine. Which songs do you think we're going to discuss? Tune into our conversation to find out. And in case our song picks are new to you, we'll publish a playlist with the episode so you don't miss a beat. With that, let's get started. Matt, what are you listening to this week?
Well, Jen, thank you for having me on the show. Obviously, what inspired my picks this week was the release of the summer blockbuster, The Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Not a sponsor, so this is not a sponsored podcast, but if they wanted to do that, we would be into it. But I used to watch The Fall Guy. So I kind of paint this picture for my kids all the time because nowadays they can watch whatever show they want whenever they want, right?
Right.
And when you and I were growing up, it was you turn on TV, whatever was on TV at that time, that's what you were watching.
Exactly. Yep.
And during the summer months in particular, after like 10 a.m., there was really no children's programming, right? It would go from
Mm-hmm.
children's programming to game shows to like soap
Soap
operas
operas.
and
Yeah.
reruns, right? Like you'd either get
Yeah.
into soap operas or reruns at that point. And that's where I watched old episodes of The Fall Guy. So The Fall Guy
Yes.
was, the old TV show. Lee Majors was the star, and he actually sang the theme song to The Fall Guy. And so
Yes.
when the movie came out, and the song was called Unknown Stuntman, and so my first pick, because I couldn't find the Lee Majors version anywhere, so I went with the new updated Blake Shelton version of Unknown Stuntman that he did for the Fall Guy soundtrack.
Yes. I love that. Like, I don't want any slack from listeners because I let us off saying a TV show, and then people are going to be like, wait, that's a movie. And I'm like, no. You got to back it up, kids, because The Fall Guy was originally a TV show. That's all I was going to say
No,
there.
I appreciate that clarity. Yes. Yeah, The Fall Guy. And I doubt a lot of people have heard of it. I imagine even some people, because it was an old show when I was growing up. And
Okay.
so I don't know if there were, a lot of folks, even our age, that were into the show. But it was exactly what the movie's about. It's a stuntman who solves murders, right? Like that's every week.
Which is amazing to me. Like the original series it ran from 1981 to 1986, and this is the synopsis in IMDb. I'm like, I have to put this on. The adventures of a film stuntman who moonlights as a bounty hunter when movie work is slow. As one does. As one does. You're slow, whatever. HR business slowing down.
Yeah.
Go bounty hunt.
No,
Whatever.
I would love to do it, right? Like, I think that would be intriguing to like at night, look, I got to go hunt this guy down. I feel like he was also solving a lot of murders though in the process, like not just running people
Oh,
down, right?
yeah. Well, and I think specifically the plot of the movie too is
Yes.
about like that he's solving this murder from, a female co-star. One of her co-stars was murdered or something. I haven't seen the movie yet, actually. Have you seen it? That's
I no,
a
I
good time
haven't.
to
I heard
interject.
it's getting great
I haven't seen
reviews.
it.
I kind
Yeah,
of want to see it. Like at first
I do
I was
too.
like, oh geez, they're doing the Fall Guy, but then like you watch the trailer and I was like, I think I can get into this. I think
Yeah.
I'd be into this version of it. But yeah, so the original song by Lee Majors, he has a ton of pop culture references for the time,
Yes.
And in fact, the opening line of that song is, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah, referring to Farrah Fawcett, who was
Yep.
actually Lee Majors' wife for like a decade.
Yeah.
And he references, you know,
Burt Reynolds.
yeah, Burt Reynolds is in there. I'm the unknown stuntman who makes Eastwood look so fine, right? Like Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood reference, Cheryl Tiegs, I think Kate Smith, all the Charlie's Angels, all the Charlie's
Yeah.
Angels get mentioned. But Blake Shelton takes all the pop culture references out for his version. Still stays true to parts of it, but so it's a lot of the same lyrics, but it's been updated, but brought back a lot of good vibes from my love of that show, The Fall Guy. Although I'm sure if I watch it now, I'd be like, this is terrible.
Oh, all those old 80s shows are so funny when you go back and revisit them. I do that all the time. I actually did it recently with Three's Company. I'm like, "Oh, I want to go back and watch Three's Company." Yeah, don't do that. It's okay. Leave it in the past. But yes, that was one note that I made about this song too, was go back. The Blake Shelton version is great. I think it stands alone. I think it works so well for the movie. He was the perfect guy to tap to sing it, and to go back online and listen to the Lee Majors version, because the lyrics are kind of hilarious, and it is just like a treasure trove of 80s name dropping. It's a good one. So I love that was your pick. And also that was our only moment of levity and light in the rest of this playlist, because we're going to get pretty dark from here on out, Matt. And the other thing that I learned from this is that you and I, a good portion of our money goes to HBO, it seems,
Yes.
because from here on out, we're keeping it real dark and we're staying on HBO.
That's a great point. That's a great point. It's a pretty dramatic shift here. My second pick, as I was thinking about, oh yeah, I do love TV themes. The next one to pop into my mind after The Fall Guy was "Woke Up This Morning" by Alabama 3, which of course is the theme song to The Sopranos.
Yes. Such a good one. And now this is a show that a lot of people are familiar with, because this one ran from 1999 to 2007. And were you a huge Sopranos fan, or did you just like this song separately? Like, why did this one figure in when there are so many amazing TV songs out there?
Yeah, I think I came into The Sopranos probably like season 3. I caught on to it.
Okay.
I think I just didn't have HBO for the first couple of seasons there, and so I played a little catch up from there. But yeah, then I was like weekly watcher all the way through to the end and the finale and the what just happened, like did my cable cut out type thing.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, no, so big fan of the show. And then, every week you hear that's kind of the unique thing too, is you hear almost this entire song in the intro as Tony
Yeah.
is driving through New Jersey and then arrives at his house. So this song just became something that, I immediately went and downloaded, because if you're just driving home, like this is the perfect song to listen to, right? Even though the lyrics are "Woke up this morning, got myself a gun."
Yeah, I'm like, it's the perfect song to drive home from work, Matt. Really? I'm all like, maybe we have different ideas of how we wind down at the end of the day.
Bounty hunter, so I have to go get a gun.
Right.
You don't go bounty hunting without a gun, okay? It's just
Now I see.
protection. Yes.
Now I'm putting it
I
together.
guess when I'm driving
Yes.
home, I'm actually going to my second job. That's what I mean. Third job, if you count podcasting. So it's like, all right,
Right.
got a day job podcasting, and then I'm a bounty hunter.
And
Yeah.
and then the bounty hunter, just when work is slow, though. Just when you're
Let me just clarify. That's not a full-time
yeah.
gig,
It's
but
just when it's slow.
if you're in trouble and you don't know where to turn, okay, hit us up on social
Right.
media at Super Awesome Mix, okay, and I'll run someone down for you.
There you go. Very good. Very good. Well, I love that you chose this song, because I think this is such a good song, and it's such a good example of a TV theme that is just, it cannot ever be removed from the show. Like, I could never hear this song and not think of The Sopranos. Same thing with Don't Stop Believin', quite frankly, since you referenced the finale. Like, I think that those, like, if I hear either one of these songs, like, immediately Sopranos are coming to mind. The thing that was interesting to me is, of course, I knew this song. I'm familiar, Sopranos fan myself, like all of the things. But one, I didn't know who the band was. So when it came through, I think in my head I always thought it was like a somebody covering Leonard Cohen or something. And so when I saw this band Alabama 3, I was like, "Oh, I never even knew this was a band." And then on top of it, I was surprised to learn that they were British. I'm
Hmm.
like, this they didn't sound like
Not at
I
all.
thought, they would have pulled somebody like straight out of Jersey, like to write the theme song. And so when I found out they were a British band and that this song actually existed before the show, I would assumed that this song was written for the show. And it's not. So that's, I think, the other interesting thing as we go through the playlist is the only song that's a theme song that was actually written for the show it's being used in was The Fall Guy. So that one was exclusively a TV theme, where the rest of these songs that we chose for the playlist were songs that were sort of out in the world and either got new life or got, rediscovered by being in a TV show.
Well, and I think interesting thing about this song in particular, I think compared to your picks, which we'll get to here in a moment, was like this band is known for nothing else, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
this is I looked them up. They were originally conceived as sort of a country music meets acid rock sort of band. I don't really get either one of those out of this particular song. But they're still touring, they're still together, right? Like this is still a band that's out there. But I'm sure when they're out there, it's like if they were to come to Dallas, I would probably go check them out just to hear woke up this morning at some point.
Yeah, I bet it's good, and it's a great song. Like that's the other thing too. I feel like the song really does. It can stand alone, even though I said it's like inextricably linked to The Sopranos. I think it still is a really good song. That would be good to see live. I think that would be a good live show.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right. Well, then, as we continue down our path of darkness on on HBO, the first song that I picked whenever I was thinking about TV songs, and this is an old show, but it's one that I've recently discovered because I just found season 2, so I went back and watched season 1 and was really surprised to learn about the theme song from season 1. So my pick is a song called "Fresh Blood" by the band Eels. And it's from The Jinx, The Life and Deaths of Robert Durst. So it's sort of this HBO docu-series about this New York real estate mogul that is a really shady character, but went on to agreed to do this docu-series and then basically gets himself caught from doing it. And so it's like this very random story. And then you have this very random song by this very random band. And I've featured Eels before. This is the song Fresh Blood is from their Hombre Lobo album from 2009. And the show is from 2015 was season 1. And then season 2 now is 2024. So they really did like dig deep to find this song and then attach it to the show. I think in a previous season I had the song "I Like the Way Things Are Going" by Eels. Novocaine for the Soul, I think, is the song from the mid '90s that people probably know by this band. But the song is a lot darker than both of those, and I'm really curious when you listen to it. It has kind of a Black Keys feel to it, though. Did it feel Did it feel Black Keys to you at all?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, but you're right. Just this idea of like I need fresh blood and all the other, and then knowing, and this is the interesting part, right? Is I had never heard, and probably the same case with Alabama 3. I'd never heard the song on its own. So then when you watch the show and you start, like you said, you link the two together, that's when it takes on this sort of darker tone and like I wonder if I didn't know the show, if I could listen to this and maybe get a different take at it. I don't know if it's necessarily it doesn't become a pop song all of a sudden, but also it's like, I wonder if I had different feelings towards it, not knowing the story at all behind it.
Yeah, I think that was kind of one of the things I was like hinting at in the intro a little bit too, is that it really, I feel like when a song that's existed before gets attached to a show, you really do rediscover it in a new way because it then has another meaning to you, or it replaces the old meaning that it had for you if it was a song that you knew. So this was a song that I had heard before but kind of didn't really gel until I got into the TV show.
And I haven't watched season
And
2 yet. I watched season 1.
oh,
Obviously, it was years ago. But I was like, how are they making a season 2? So I'm really, I'm kind of interested to see what goes on there.
Yeah, it's if you're a true crime fan, it's definitely a wacky story. Like he's crazy. Like
Yeah,
it's
he's
definitely
nuts.
yeah, it's
He's nuts.
he's nuts.
Yeah.
It's worth checking out. And also just to clarify too, it's about it's about Robert Durst, not Fred Durst. So it's not a Limp Bizkit
Yeah,
documentary. We
that's
are
a good
not
call out. It's a good call out because they probably would have used a Limp Bizkit song if it was
right.
like Fred
If it
Durst would have
was
been like,
Fred Durst.
"Well, hold on, let me make a little money off this. Let my like
Right.
the trust that I've set up collect a couple bucks here while I'm in prison."
While that's happening. So, to round out our playlist today, like I said, we started dark and got darker. I'm going to finish us off with a song called Bury a Friend by Billie Eilish. And of course, this was off of her 2019 album, but got new life this year because it was the theme song for season 4 of True Detective Night Country. I feel like this was just a really good example of giving a song new life. You know what I mean? Like we'd heard this song to death. That Billie Eilish album again came out in 2019. It was everywhere. You could not get away from it. And so I loved this song. It was one of my favorites on that album and I listened to it a ton and then I had to put it away. And then when it appeared in True Detective, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." Like now I'm getting to feel this song again and experience it in a totally different way because I felt like thematically it was so on the money with the show. So I don't know. What did you think about the song? Were you familiar? Did you watch True Detective? Like how did this figure into your list of TV theme songs?
So I knew this song like prior to, so like I had the experience that I said I kind of wanted to have with like Fresh Blood because I know this song and I have not watched True Detective Night Country yet. So I haven't watched that. I've watched all the seasons of True Detective prior to this. So I definitely it's on our list to watch, but my wife and I are so far behind on so many different series that it's like I don't know when we're gonna catch up. But um, so yeah, so in this case, I did like when, and I didn't know it by title, but when it started to play, I was like, oh, yeah, of course I know this song. But then what was interesting is that associating it with a show like True Detective, I was immediately like, hold on, bury a friend. Like, wait, what happens in this show? Like, what is going on? And so it really got my mind thinking a little bit and actually makes me want to go maybe start the show this weekend or something because I heard it was great. So I've heard nothing but good things, but had not watched it, so I didn't know this was the theme, and so really, yeah, kind of excited now, actually.
Yeah, I actually love this season. I think True Detective is one of those shows that can be really polarizing. That first season was so, so good.
Yeah,
I think people universally agree that that first season was just runaway. And then people have all kinds of opinions, I'd say, about, the consecutive seasons. But I feel like this one is just, it's really different than the others. It takes place in a completely different geography. And I think that this song just sets you up from the very first moment to get into that headspace for it. We're not in a swamp. It's not bluesy. We're not going to time travel, like we do a lot in the other True Detective series. It's not gritty in LA like season 2. So it really does a good job, I think, of setting the tone. And the writer of the show said that she was listening to a lot of Billie Eilish as she was writing, and that she even thinks that probably this song, consciously or not, influenced the way that she wrote the show. So it really does. I think tonally you get that throughout the show, and it feels like really like spooky and cold. Like I didn't know that a song could really connotate weather, but when you watch it laid against the opening of the show, I feel like you do. You immediately are just like, ooh, burr.
that's interesting because I'm sure before granting permission, Billie Eilish probably watched a little bit of the show or learned a little bit about it. So it's interesting that like the writer was influenced by the song, and then she was, Billie Eilish was probably sort of compelled by whatever she saw or read of the show before releasing this. So kind of an interesting little circular puzzle there.
Yeah, it's true. It really it and the show I feel like has done a really good job actually with all 4 seasons with the theme songs. It's been really all the way around, I think it's a great show in my opinion. But I think that this one particularly like nails the tone, and it's not surprising to me when I read that sort of the song influenced the show, and then like you said, probably circular full circle, Billie had to like it to agree to let them use it. So yes, it definitely takes you all the way around. But I think what we've taken all the way around is HBO. It sounds like, again, you and I need to like branch out and see if there's another channel on the television.
Well,
But
so many theme songs. I could go deep on TV theme songs, but it's more recently that you've got like full length versions of these theme songs. I think the Unknown Stuntman and Lee Majors, that was kind of an outlier at that point. There were
yeah,
some more full length theme songs, and there's a ton of them out there that are pretty well known. But um, anyway, yeah. But yeah, maybe
yeah.
but yes, probably should go beyond HBO, but just makes for a reason for me to come back to the show, Jen.
See, I know you get, and I'll talk about TV and movies all day long with you. So yes, we'll definitely do a deeper dive on TV theme songs. Maybe we'll even focus it down to like 80s TV theme songs or something like that, where we're really in our wheelhouse, Matt.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I love having you on the show as always. And listeners, please be sure to follow, download, and share the show. And if you love listening to, drop us a review on Apple or Spotify. And last but not least, to stay informed on all things Super Awesome Mix and what are you listening to, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Super Awesome Mix. Thanks for listening, and please join me again next week to find your new favorite song.